everybody. Welcome back to the ChannelTech VideoCast. I'm Charlene O'Hanlon, Senior Executive Editor at The VAR Guy. And as always, I am joined by Diane Krikora, CEO of PartnerPath. Thanks for taking the time, Diane, and spending 10 minutes or so of your day with me.
Always a pleasure, Charlene. Good to see you.
Great. So I guess the biggest news of the week is maybe not huge news for parts of the channel, but it's certainly making waves and pretty much broke the internet earlier this week. And that was Apple's decision to open up its Swift programming language. And, you know, Apple being such a closed, you know, walled garden, if you will, for so long, you know, to me at least, this was huge news that it's opening up the programming language. So anxious to hear your thoughts on it and really what you think this could mean for the channel.
Yeah, we're really excited to hear that Apple is becoming more open with a lot of their codes and inviting more partners in. You know, they've always had a developer program. And I think that the Swift announcement will really help their relationship with IBM and that partnership.
You know, it's interesting too because Swift has only been around for a year, and it was actually just recently voted the most loved programming language by developers. I think Stack, there was a Stack conference or something like that where they did this survey. And you know, you have to think about the ecosystem of folks who were writing for Swift. Of course, there were a lot of folks who were doing it, but it was just a fraction of who could. Now that, you know, now that it's been opened up, that base of developers is gonna grow exponentially, and it's also going to kind of embed Swift into areas that you know, Apple so far has not been able to permeate because of its closed proprietary nature. So I imagine for the channel, especially in the app development community, I mean, this enables them to write apps for multiple platforms, to maybe go into verticals that they hadn't been able to go into before because of the closed nature of Swift. You know, to me, it just seems like there's a huge opportunity there.
Yeah, and I think that also with their IBM, the Apple IBM relationship, and really that was based on a mobile-first strategy for enterprise apps, and I think they needed to open Swift to be able to fully take advantage of what the IBM platform and ecosystem can then provide Apple for the enterprise. And that's been something they've been really working on or struggling with, Apple has been, is that bigger entrance into the enterprise. They certainly have great support in the creative departments in enterprises, but they don't have kind of a full rollout across the enterprise for the Apple product. So I think that Swift being an open really helps them drive that IBM relationship. And it would be interesting to see and hear thoughts on what that looks like for IBM's partner ecosystem as well.
That's a good point. That's a really good point, actually. You know, and you do bring up a good point that Apple's never really been, you know, well, they've never really been that channel friendly to begin with, but they've never really gone too deep into the enterprise beyond, you know, we all insist on having iPhones, you know, as our corporate smartphone. But the fact that they are making these moves to go deeper into the enterprise using these, the partnership with IBM is a great example. I agree that they have the support of the vendor community, but I think this is actually going to allow them to go deeper and have richer apps for the Apple ecosystem that maybe vendors weren't able to have before.
Well, and I think it'll be interesting to see if Apple changes kind of their partner ecosystem. Right now they have a channel program which allows partners, and they even segment it by what do you do? Sell, service, train, consult. Right? So they have that as what they call their channel program, and then they have a developer program that sits over here. And at what time do these come together? Because as we've talked about, there's not a partner that doesn't need to at least do some app dev. So we don't have just resellers, just systems integrators, and just ISVs anymore. It's really blending.
Right. Yeah, that's a really good point. And I find it interesting that Apple still has separate channel programs, or the channel program and then the app development or the developer program. So yeah, I think Swift is really going to change the change the relationship that Apple has with developers in general. It's also I think it's just going to have to change the relationship it has with channel partners also, because they are going to become such a larger part of their developer ecosystem. So do you actually think that because Swift is now open source, that we'll actually see more enterprise apps developed for Apple's iOS?
Absolutely. I certainly, the developer community and the channel community that we know so well that helps to create solutions. We want to create those solutions on an open source or an open platform, so that it can be ported, it can be leveraged for additional growth and applications and additional solutions. We always talk about it as being a solution provider, right? That these guys, no matter who they are in the channel, they're trying to provide a solution. And Apple's move to open that up will, I think, create more solutions, because now you're not just a dev, you're not just a developer that's buying into the Apple platform. You can be a full solution provider that ties some of that in.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Interesting. Well, I think we're definitely going to see more to come on this topic as more developers adopt the Swift programming language, especially now that it's open source and can be used for so many other things than just the Apple platform. So I give Apple 2 thumbs up for open sourcing Swift. Diane, what's your ruling?
Absolutely, two thumbs up, and love to see them really engaging more in a channel model as well, and with those channel partners. And always been a big fan, and love kind of not only their products, but most of the the team and the energy there. So love to see them continuing to enhance their ecosystem with things like the IBM relationship, Swift, and their bigger developer program.
Great. Well, would love to find out what you, the audience, thinks about Apple opening Swift. So please feel free to send in your comments. Just list them below here. And you can also send in your comments over to the PartnerPath website, which is www.partner-path.com. Correct, Diane?
Absolutely. Thank you, Charlene.
Great. Well, tune in next week for another exciting ChannelTech VideoCast episode. But for now, I'm Charlene O'Hanlon, and I'm signing off.